I'm Shiki.
And I'm Shiv.
Welcome to Unit the Podcast, the show that takes you on a journey into our long-term relationship and hopefully teaches you a thing or two. Unit, because it's you and I in it. Welcome to episode 1 of Unit the Podcast. How are you feeling, babe?
I'm excited. We've wanted to do this. We've been unsure about it.
Yeah.
We've changed our minds so many times. But I'm excited to finally be doing it and being here. Bit nervous, obviously.
Me too, which is so weird. We talk to each other every day, but this is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's like an interview, you know. And it's like we're interviewing each other to the public. So it's a bit different.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah, this is the first time we're on a set together by ourselves.
Yes, together alone.
Yeah, together alone.
Yeah. So it's kind of strange. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, obviously, we said we will ease into it.
Yeah.
What people can expect from today is, so it's kind of a get to know how we got here type of thing, how we met, and a few stops along the way.
Yeah.
Till now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we can start at the beginning. Where did we meet? Where did you see me? Where did you see me and decide that we are... You didn't even decide that we're going to meet. Someone else decided that we're going to meet. Yeah.
So how did we meet? So we have a mutual friend, Julia, who was in your year in university.
Yeah, and a friend of mine.
And a friend of yours. Yeah, you guys have always been friends. Yeah. Just a quick backstory, Julia is someone I grew up with. So that's how I knew her. Yeah. And she went to USIU, and then you were in USIU, and I came to USIU. Mm-hmm. And we guys were on a table in a bar. Yeah. And I was with Julia. Yeah. And Julia was, I don't know how it happened, but I just came to hang out with you guys, because it was a table full of ladies.
It was.
Yeah, it was a table full of ladies, and I was like, I was just like what people now call in the streets, let's see what's there.
Yeah.
And Julia Wedera introduced me to you guys, or introduced us.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first initial meeting ever. Took a liking to you. I liked your energy, liked your vibe.
Yeah.
And I ended up sitting closer to you.
Okay.
Some of your friends were not very happy about it at the time, giving some eyes while we were there.
Hey, I had my security.
You had security with you.
Yes.
At the table.
Yeah.
It was a bit intimidating, but, we're not taking... At that time, it wasn't like... We knew what was going to happen. We knew, or we even thought maybe, we'll be together. We're just like going with the flow, really.
Yeah. You were put on a table of a bunch of older women. Because part of your friendship with Julia, or growing up with Julia, she affectionately refers to you as her small bro.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which is to say that... that you are one of the younger people on the table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually was the youngest person
on the table. Yeah. I think at the time for me, I think fresh out of a situationship. Mm-hmm. I had steadily made myself back to the streets. Nilikuwa nimeoga nikarudi soko. Yeah, not looking for anything serious. Like, we're just chill. I think we just started hanging out. Like, we would now... start to see each other more in Fifis because now we kind of knew each other. Yeah. And I think I remember you never used to drink. Mm-hmm. At the time, myself and my circle of friends were on the opposite spectrum of the drinking. Yeah, but we used to hang out a lot, I think, on Thursdays.
Yeah. I had seasons. I was on and off, like drinking, on and off. And I think that's
like now.
Till now. Yeah. I'm the same till now. I go off for like a few months, come on, go off for a year, come back. Yeah, depending on like what season it is, how I'm feeling about like my training or just life in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of on and off with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started hanging out a lot more. Familiar face. The vibe was good.
The vibe was vibing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we met.
That is how we met.
Yeah, that's the romantic story of how we met.
Kids, that is how I met your father.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of our hanging out was just, in the bar, just chilling. You were living at home. I was living off campus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we just started spending a little more time together.
Yeah, like my friends also now became your friends, and your friends were with my friends, and now it's just like hanging out in this large group in the same places around campus.
We'd even see each other out.
Yeah, we'd even see each other out of campus.
Not
like
necessarily gone out together, but we would meet on the rave.
I don't think we ever went out together. We just used to meet
the same places.
Yeah, in the same places. Well, not like surprise. It was kind of like where you guys, or we kind of knew where we would be. Because I think we were all in the same place almost all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also like in situationships.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't like in anything serious.
Yeah. And I think we'd even talk about these things. Like we'd talk about the babes that we'd
talk about who like.
Yeah, because I remember talking about, I think, some past relationship, those situationships with you that I had.
And I talked about mine with you too.
Yeah. We were friends. Yeah, we were friends, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't think we actually got together like oh man, it was a while before we actually started being more romantic with each other.
Yeah.
Is that the word to use? More romantic with each other. I think it was probably even a year.
I think it was about a year.
About a year. It was a year of just being friends and just chilling and hanging out.
Yeah.
And I think remember seeing some of your situationships like with you and hitting on you and everything. But it was like, no pressure, like, whatever, moving on. Then I think a year later is when I started, well, let me speak for myself, creating more of a liking towards you, and I wanted to hang around more, be around you more.
After I left USIU?
Like
probably?
Just before you left, just like after you graduated, before you left.
Ooh.
I don't know if it was like tense because you were leaving, and I was like, oh no.
Gotta do something.
Gotta do something. You're leaving. Yeah. And that's when we, started to see each other more romantically. And,
for purposes of younger audience, leave it at see each other romantically.
And then, you left, and you left me, and we kept in contact. And I think it also helped that we didn't live too far from each other.
Yeah.
So even as you were working, doing your internships or whatever, and I was still in school, we literally used to meet in town.
Oh, yeah, we used to have breakfast, I think, once a week.
Breakfast once a week, like I'm on my way to school, you on your way to work.
Yes.
Then
to Java.
Yeah, we used to go to Java. I used to have like a samosa.
The big samosa.
The big samosa all the time. And then coming back from school also, some days we would meet up. Most probably on Fridays.
Fridays we used to go meet at our friend's bar.
But even before that, we'd meet in town and walk and then jive together, walk to the stage together, jive together. For a long time, and then straight to the bar, basically a friend's bar.
Yeah.
It was like a Friday ritual.
It was a Friday thing, and we'd meet there, sometimes just the two of us, sometimes with other friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where do we even go from there now? I
think you're the one who usually explains as to when exactly we actually now became a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
So this I think was even another year later.
That's why we've been together for so many years.
Another year and a half later,
Yeah.
And it was more of, I think you kind of you came over to my house. You remember, you came over to my house, and after hanging out, after work you came, we hung out, and then I suggested that it's time for you to go home because I'd wanted to go play football.
Though you didn't quite say it like that.
Yeah.
It was, I want to go play football, and I think you started getting ready for going to play football.
Yeah. Because it was like the thing I always do.
Yeah.
And you basically lost it.
Yeah.
And just stormed off.
Yeah.
And you were like, I can't believe you're, picking football over me. I've come all the ways to spend time with you. And this is just once in the week. And then you want to go play football today also.
Yeah.
And kind of stormed off. And at that moment, I remember thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on? What's happening? I was confused, but I understood what you were saying.
Yeah.
I understood that you felt like I wasn't making you a priority. And I ran after you.
Yeah.
You're walking like the fastest you've ever walked to get away. You're like trying to run. So it's like I ran after you.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was like, all right, I'm not going to play. Come back. Let's chill. Let's talk. I think that's when, after that, then I kind of officially asked you at some point, maybe at dinner or lunch.
I don't even know. I think we're so bad with these things.
But I know I asked you. I officially asked you. And
we had no idea. Even later in the relationship, remember, we had no idea when exactly it happened.
Yeah.
Because remember, we just...
We just picked a date and decided that's our anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember at the time, one of my colleagues told me she had done the same thing with her boyfriend. So they just kind of picked a date. Mm-hmm. And they picked a public holiday so that they'd always be able to celebrate the anniversary.
Yeah.
So just based off that, we decided our anniversary would be 1st of June. Because that way we'd always be able to do dinner maybe the day before.
Yeah.
Or the day of.
Yeah.
But that was a scam, man. When you were working for Tribe, that was a complete scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never have to have public holidays.
Yeah. At that time, for context, guys, I was working in the hotel industry. That was actually what my degree was for, hospitality and hotel management. And I was there for about 2 years. And then I guess now we can just move to the next part of this relationship where now I left when you were expecting. Or we were expecting.
I felt pregnant.
Yes. Yes. With our firstborn, Shazi.
Yeah.
And a few months into that, that's when I left working for the hospitality industry and went into full-time coaching, social media.
The side.
Yeah, which I had been doing on the side for about 6 months or so before that. So I was working in the morning, coaching in the evening, or coaching in the evening. Or
depending on your shift.
Coaching in the morning, working in the evening, depending on my shifts at work. I had 2 jobs basically.
Yeah.
And then now I went straight into now full-time coaching. Yeah. And now also that's when our social media journey began for me. That's when I started posting on Facebook, on Instagram.
And being paid by Safaricom to do ads.
Yeah. Yeah. And at that time was modeling too.
Oh.
I was also a model. I was doing runway shows. I was doing magazine, and I was doing billboards here and there.
Yeah.
I think the runways were the first ones to stop. Then just went more digital.
Yeah.
And it's a hustle everywhere, here, there, everywhere.
Yeah. I guess that the moment I told you that you're about to start taking care of a whole other human being, that's when you decided that you were going to quit your job.
Yes.
I could not understand how you can come to such a decision after such news. I was like, what in the world are you trying to do? Yeah, so I think when you told me that you're going to quit your job and start basically hustling for yourself, in my mind, I started planning for this incoming child by myself because I was like, I don't think this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
This is not the time to be quitting jobs. This is the time to be doubling down and getting all the shifts that you can get. I was basically just worried about money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess towards the end of that first pregnancy, you moved out of home.
Yeah.
We decided it was important to find a place before the baby is born.
Yeah. And that was now our first place.
Our first place together.
Mostly mine, because you were in between there and home.
I was living at home.
Because it was helpful for you to...
Yeah.
It was a good idea for you to get the help from home to raise Shazi.
Yeah. In fact, I think by the time Shazi was arriving, I had fully moved in to your house. Yeah. I moved in, as does every other woman. I used to come on Fridays, leave on Sundays, then come on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Move in with things. Then I had clothes for the whole week, and
eventually,
I never left.
Yeah, you never left.
I never left. Okay, I left after having, straight from the hospital, I went back home.
Yeah.
Because we decided it was best for me to... I think it was just more comfortable to be with people who had raised a baby before. At the time, I think your hours were still all over the place. I think you were doing very early mornings.
Yeah, I was doing very early mornings. Then I was also doing evenings.
And doing evenings as well.
Yeah.
We didn't
I was
have
at the gym more or less the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't have
help.
And I was basically terrified of raising a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went back home for about 3 months, then came back. And we coexisted and moved into 4 different homes.
Yeah. Then we moved to another house.
We
with Shazi again. Yeah.
We go house hunting.
Yeah, we've moved a lot.
Yeah.
So in the past 7 years, we've moved 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we moved to another house, then we moved to the third house is where we were now expecting our second born, Shiloh. But before that is when we had our wedding, when Shazi was about 4. Actually, before that, I proposed when she was around 1. She had just turned 1. Then I proposed.
Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you proposed while we were on that holiday.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just went back to life.
Yeah. Then got married when she was 4.
Yeah.
She was 4, and then we were expecting Shiloh
the following
just
year.
as she was turning 5. Shazi was turning 5. Then now we're expecting Shiloh, our second born.
Yeah.
And that was now in the third house. Then a year later is when we had Shiloh as we moved into the 4th house.
Yeah.
So we got Mamba, the dog.
Yes.
Then Shiloh came as we moved into literally the month we moved into the new house.
That's when she arrived.
That's when she arrived.
Yeah, and I remember we were moving at that time. That was deep in first year of COVID. So we decided to just start house hunting during COVID. And I think along the way we realized that rent prices had really gone down.
Yeah.
And houses that we would never have been able to afford, we kind of could afford.
Yeah.
At that time.
You were able to really negotiate at that point.
Could negotiate hard.
Yeah.
And we got used to it.
Yeah.
It became a lot easier. We go and see houses that are 50K above our budget. And, you just go with your chest and try and negotiate. We wanted a standalone house because that's one of the things we had discussed if we're getting a dog.
Yeah.
I was terrified of dogs. Shazi was terrified of dogs. Shiv has loved dogs all his life.
Yeah.
I'm always calling us getting Mamba the biggest compromise I think I've made in this here marriage in terms of cohabiting with you. But we kind of got used to him. But it was important to have a space that he can go outside to.
Yeah. And also with the space, it was important to have a space that we can work in because we both work from home.
Yes.
We're both content creators. We both shoot at home. We spend our time basically shooting content in and around the house. Yeah, it's where our photo shoots happen. It's where 80% of our work happens at home. So we needed a space that we can have different spaces to move around and work with, and also space for the dog.
Exactly.
The kids.
Exactly. Yeah, and that I think gets us to maybe 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and shortly after that, I decided to leave employment, join Shiv in self-employment. Yeah, so we essentially spend our entire day together, but not together.
Yeah.
Like we are in the same space. We both work from the house, not necessarily at the same place. Like he could be working outside, I'm working inside, working in different rooms. Sometimes we're in the same room. Like we we are together a lot, but not necessarily together. Like, we do our thing around each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
To the point that even I think since I stopped going to an actual office, I'm not even sure if our children think I work.
Yeah.
At least they know you go to the gym.
I go to the gym to coach in the morning.
Shiloh, I don't think Shiloh thinks I have a job.
Yeah.
Aside
she
from
doesn't understand it yet.
Aside from dropping Shazi in school.
Yeah.
The morning.
Yeah.
Shazi kind of gets it. Fast forward, I guess, to last year, we started now toying with the idea of having a platform together. Initially we had said, let's start a YouTube channel. It was going to be the kind of YouTube channel that you just have highlights to our life, I think. But the challenge there was like, who's going to edit? Who's going to what? Do we have the time? Blah, 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 blah. Because there was too much happening.
Do we want to...
Yeah. Or do we want to open our home that much?
Yeah.
We already kind of do. I do a lot of content around the kids and myself at home, but it's very controlled.
Yeah.
It is a pre-recorded thing, and if I don't feel like it should go up, it won't go up.
Yeah.
So that one has a bit more control. But this other YouTube channel, the issue was now kind of like there will be an expectation that we will post ourselves next week, and then we're going to find ourselves having to look for things to do just so that we have content.
Yeah.
And I don't think we really wanted to.
Yeah. So I think this kind of this is kind of the way we would have wanted to do it. Because also we didn't really want to like involve the kids and have them having to shoot, and
because
we don't involve them in that way.
Yeah. And sometimes they already are involved in some of our campaigns, and I must say, guys, it can be difficult to shoot with kids.
Yeah.
There are times they just don't want to shoot.
You have to respect that.
Yeah, you can't force them. I've been guilty of bribing the children. I think Shiv has to, like, just with a bit of candy, if you take a picture with me.
Yeah.
And, you kind of try and explain it's for work, blah, 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 blah. And, yeah. So this has a bit more control. People around us, our friends, and some of our followers kind of just throw it. They throw in that comment for, you guys should start a podcast.
Yeah, on almost every couple or family picture or video we post, it's usually insinuated somewhere there in the comments or in the DMs or again in person from our friends.
Yeah.
So
and for me, it just I guess I'm still coming to terms with it, but it just used to really confuse me because I'm like, what is it that people I think people think that we have a cheat sheet because we are a fairly stable relationship, and we are we're not here to look like couple goals. We're here to share real
our experience,
like for real,
how we navigate things. Hopefully also, someone learns from this. So we feel like we can send out a message and someone learns from it as we grow in this journey together also, as we also learn, because we constantly realize that, we're constantly changing. Sometimes our thoughts, beliefs, although values, these are our core values, but our thoughts, beliefs, sometimes things change. We are constantly changing as humans, as individuals. So the dynamic is sometimes changing because of a few aspects of things. So it's like also growing and learning each other. And, it's a great way to do it. Let's record it.
Why not? Why not do it in front of everybody?
Yeah.
And the thing is, also, we will get to learn a lot about each other as we do this. I think it takes away from the pressure of let's sit down and discuss how we are going to be resolving conflict. You see, here we are kind of able to say we do this, we do that, and you might say something that I would never have really thought that we do, and vice versa. So it'll be a nice learning curve. You and I are very different people, like just in terms of our personalities and how we do things. But somehow it works that we are very different people able to coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah. People say opposites attract, but I don't think it always works that way. Sometimes your opposite might not gel with the way you are, but somehow yours and mine, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we're very different from how we just react to things, deal with situations, how we think, how it's different, like literally.
It's day and night.
Yeah, but you see, we understand each other and we kind of balance each other out, and
and we've seen how to use our different personalities to work for us.
Yeah.
For example, I'm a bit nicer to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when she was being super abrasive, just come to me for a hug. Like, don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean it.
And also that translates also to our parenting, not just our parenting, also with friends and
even with
people, close friends, and just even strangers.
Exactly.
You're a bit more empathetic than I am.
I think more than a bit more empathetic. But on the flip side, where my empathy now comes to be too much and I let people in too much, Shiv is able to, like now I think we've gotten to the point where I can actually just come and tell Shiv. We host a lot.
Yeah.
So I can come and tell Shiv, I'm done. We need to get people out of here. Yeah. He's like, say less. Guys, 15 minutes, get out.
15 minutes out.
Yeah, she will give
15
you...
15 minutes, the music is off, club is closed.
She knows how to push out the bash when I really need it. I'm an introvert, he's an extrovert. There are times he wants to hang around people I really don't want to. So we just try and find a balance, It can be, not today. Today is kind of an off day. Can we do it tomorrow type of thing? Yeah. So I guess that kind of balance, and I think the fact that you can coexist with somebody without changing who you are, without having to compromise too much. There's always compromise.
There's always compromise.
Yeah, I think that is the message we are bringing here across, that we can be our most authentic selves and still coexist and be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of what people can expect, from this here platform, I would say we will discuss a lot around how it is living with another person and, like I said, still remaining your true authentic self. It could be how we deal with the kids. Yeah, different parenting styles. How do you make them work together? It could be
our work-life balance,
yes.
How we do that,
how
we navigate that, how we navigate disagreements, finances,
to some extent.
Yeah,
and whatever else comes along the way, we'd also love to obviously hear what it is you would want to hear from us.
Yes.
So we will always have a little segment for that where we address something that one of you has asked or one of you would like to know. Yeah, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Throw in the questions, comments. We want to hear from you. Let's get on this journey together. Let's learn together.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we will be sure to let you know if a boundary needs to be drawn as to how far we are willing to go with this conversation. We will draw the boundary.
Yeah.
Because the internet streets are not very kind. So yes, there is a boundary. There's a gate.
Yeah.
And we can only tell you guys until that gate type of thing. So we're also trying to protect our relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was an interesting suggestion that we got from one of our very close friends, Ivy, and I thought it's a fun little way to be ending our episodes. It may challenge us a little bit, but we're going to be having something that we call Intimate Question of the Week. And what that is, it's just a question that we will ask each other and answer in our opinion.
Yeah.
So our first intimate question of the week is, when are you most attracted to me? I'll also answer the same question.
All the time.
Correct. Yeah. Good job.
That is how to answer that question.
That is how to say in a long-term relationship.
Yes. No, but for real, I mean, all the time, you know.
There must be a situation where you're just like, damn, girl.
I think when we are both in a good headspace to begin with.
Okay.
Because if I'm not in a good headspace and you're not in a good headspace, or one of us is not in a good headspace, it's hard for my mind or my emotion, my heart to be in that space where, when I say attracted, I'm thinking sexually. Yeah. Yeah, in that sense, I guess that's what we mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to be sexually attracted to someone when you're not in the headspace. So if you're both in the same wavelength, mentally, emotionally, physically, yeah, I'm super attracted to you. It doesn't matter if you're in pajamas, if you're like about to go out. But I'd say many times when like you're about to step out, or we're about to step out, and like
wearing my good clothes,
you're wearing your nice clothes, I'm just like, woo!
The loose dresses.
Yeah, the sundresses. I like those. Those are fun.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Okay.
Your turn.
I think for me, it is a lot of the time. When I thought about this question, I think there's certain, I'm going to say certain masculine energy that you exude, like when you're fixing things.
Oh, trying to encourage me, huh?
Yeah. I always have projects for you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of when you're doing man things, I think that's one of them. And the other is also when you're doing, I think, dad things. And not dad things for giving them lunch or, just like going over and above without us having to have a conversation about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but remember, one of my top love languages is acts of service. So
yeah.
So basically, when you're getting shit done,
I
think
okay.
That's when
I get that.
Ooh. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have made it to the end of our very first conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where this is going to go, but we would love to find out.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here for our first conversation. We hope you will join us for our subsequent conversations.
All of them.
We are really looking forward to the conversations that will be had on this table. And basically, like let's just move together and see where this goes.
Yeah.
There's no solid plan. We're just winging it.
Yeah. But we hope you guys will engage with us on our social media pages. We have new social media pages for this podcast, Unit the Podcast. We have our YouTube, our Facebook, our Instagram, all Unit the Podcast. They're all up and running. So give us a follow so you can know when we're about to go live, because we will be going live on the shows before we even release them. On the podcast. So follow us and stay in touch, ask questions, and we'll probably maybe pick one of your questions.
Yeah.
And
Yes, I think that's about it.
That's it. Yeah.
I hope to see you on the next one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.